What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cup Check. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but as you can see, we're back here with new member Zachary Crutchfield and longtime Cup Check co-host Trenton Moore. Today, we're going to be looking at the Fantrax Dynasty Baseball rankings, just kind of giving our reaction, getting back into the Dynasty world, getting back into the fantasy world. You guys have anything to say?
Oh, I love Eric Cross. He puts out good rankings year after year. Him and Chris
Zach,
Flood.
Zach, how does it feel to be officially on the Cup Check team going forward?
It feels great. I know I was part of it when it first began. I kind of fell off, but I'm glad to be back with the boys.
Just a little recap. Trent ended up getting second place in our fantasy league, heartbreaking loss. And I actually had a heartbreaking loss to Trent, my arch nemesis, in the first round of the playoffs. And
Wow. Yeah.
We did.
It helps having Fernando Tatis, Vladimir Guerrero, and Ronald Acuna on the same team. I know he didn't help that much later on, but I'm looking forward to the next year and the 10, 15 years after that. So
yeah, it's a bit ridiculous that Trent has those three keepers. Zach has gone the complete opposite strategies, just collected old pitchers. And myself.
one of them found a way is my team, actually. Your second overall pick, Shane Bieber.
My team, we got like Trout and Bobby Witt Jr., so I got a mix of like old and new. But all right, getting into the Fantrax rankings. Trent, what do you think? Obviously, you have a few of the top people, so I'll just let you talk a little bit about it.
So yeah, looking at number 1, number 3, and number 6, pretty healthy actually. I think it's a pretty good list. I think Shohei at number 7 is pretty fair. I know you in a mixed league where you can play him in both positions in a daily league, he's definitely got to be off the board in the top 3. Even though everybody expects an injury, but you got to take that risk. Dude was just nuts. But
you're saying for a dynasty league going forward, you're taking Ohtani top 3?
Dynasty league no, I'm not. But I'm saying next year. I thought we were talking about next year.
So you think 7 is a fair rating?
Yes. Yes.
How do we feel about the top 3 going to Tatis, Soto, Acuna? I know that's a pretty highly debated top 3.
Say Soto has the best floor, Acuna has the highest ceiling, and Tatis has the best mix. Is that a fair assessment?
I like the rankings, top 3.
I don't know if I like Bichette at 4. I might regret saying that this time 2023, knowing how.
Well, I think Vlad should be ahead of Bichette.
I would agree. I guess
it kind of depends how much your league value stolen bases. Yeah. But with us having 7 offensive categories, stolen bases aren't quite as valuable as like a 5x5.
For me, just heading into this next year, especially, I would definitely think that Soto is the number 1 out of that group. But in terms of dynasty, you got to think that there's a decent chance one of Tatis or Acuna might have a better career. It's just going to come down to who can stay healthy, and so far Soto's been the healthiest. So I would probably rank those Soto, Acuna, Tatis going forward. But I think it's pretty interchangeable.
The thing is I'd ask you, Dawson. You have Bo Bichette. I offer you.
I don't.
No.
Oh, okay.
Hypothetically, I offer you Mike Trout and Aaron Judge.
I'm trading Bo Bichette.
Exactly. So that to me, you're offering in the rankings, you're offering 13 and 27 for number 4 overall.
Yeah.
That's fair, generally speaking, but normally you wouldn't trade a number 4 overall unless you get overwhelmed.
So do we all agree Bo Bichette's a little high?
Yes.
Yeah. And a big part of fantasy drafting, especially if you're starting a dynasty, is don't do anything too crazy. Who's good, who's bad. You just kind of got to trust that instead of maybe trying to get a little too fancy like these Fantrax people did, ranking Bo over Vlad.
At the end of the day, flags fly forever. We all know that. So
How do we feel about 4 through 8, the next little bunch?
I think it's pretty good. I'd probably have, I don't
We're in
know.
agreement that Bichette's going. Is Bichette still top 10?
I think yeah,
This list has
yeah.
Wander at 11. Are you taking Wander or Bichette?
If anything, I would slide but Bichette in at 8 and move everybody above that up.
So you're
Turner
taking
4, Vlad 5, Otani 6, Harper 7.
so you're taking Bichette over Franco.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Bichette has the power and the lineup around him.
It's true. Zach, what about you?
I like Bichette over Franco, and I like him in the top 10. I'm still taking Harper over him,
I agree.
and honestly, I might still take Trout over him.
I could understand that.
But I'm
People
taking
forget.
Bichette above, still above like Kyle Tucker, Wander Franco, Luis Robert. And yeah, so I think that would put him at like the 8 spot, I think is that what you said, Trent? The 8 spot? Because I think if you
Yeah,
put him
yeah.
ahead, I think if you put him behind Harper and ahead of Tucker, Franco, Robert, that would slot him in at 8.
Another quick little note on this like little bunch in the rankings. They got Trey Turner here at 5 on Dynasty. I do think in Dynasty terms, I mean, I would definitely rather have Vlad and Otani and some of these names, but here's what's interesting is that just in 1 year leagues, Trey Turner is the consensus #1 overall pick across basically every website. It's the first year people are kind of moving Trey Turner to that. Do I pick him to? We trust the steals and we trust the power a little bit. How do we feel about Trey Turner? Obviously, I think 28 home runs he finished with is probably a career high. He's in that Dodgers lineup now. What are we thinking about Turner?
I think that right there is the key in that, it's in dynasty rankings, it's a healthy, Turner 5, Vlad 6, and vice versa. You can flip it whichever way you want, the coin goes. But Turner in that Dodgers lineup is really good for his fantasy value. So
another thing that gets slept on is he's now second base eligible. So having potentially based off last year, the #1 player that you can slot in at second base, because according to last year, Turner did finish first in PR, followed by Vlad, Soto, Harper, Otani.
That's for our league. That's for our league.
That's across ESPN. The stolen bases definitely carry a lot of weight in PR. And he's
PR is based off of the individual leagues. So in an OBP league, I would be willing to bet Soto was more valuable than Turner.
I mean, it's hard to be mad at the dude for hitting 330, 28 bombs, 32 bags. I mean, that's kind of a fantasy dream season. So yeah, I do like Turner at 5. Obviously, I'd probably rather have Vlad, but gotta love what you're gonna get from Trey Turner this next year.
Yeah. So what do you think about we'll call it 9 through 12, 9 through 13.
Are we gonna touch on Harper a little bit, former MVP? You got him.
I think he's healthy. I think we kind of nailed it there that he's good in that 7-8 slot.
You take him over Otani in a 1-year league?
No.
Fair enough. What we think about Jose Ramirez, who is at number 10 every single year without fail?
He's consistent, man. I mean, you know what? He had a down 2020, but
that lineup's kind of brutal now, but he keeps getting the job done.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to be pitching around him a lot more now that there's really just not a whole lot.
Yeah,
forcing.
I bet he's traded by 2023.
I mean, looking at last year's stats, 270, 36 bombs, 27 at bats. He's basically Trey Turner with less average, more homers, and less stolen bases. So really not Trey Turner, but he did put up a big mix of pretty much everything you're looking for. So I feel like 10 is a pretty solid ranking.
How about 11, 12, 13? Franco, Robert, Trout.
That's tough because to me, I'm probably still taking Trout over J-Ram. I would probably slot J-Ram a little bit lower around the guys like Freddie Freeman, definitely above Ozzie Albies and Jordan. I'm still taking Tucker over J-Ram. I just like the upside on Tucker being so young.
He's 25.
Yeah, he hasn't hit his prime yet.
I mean, it's young, but like.
Not everyone's gonna be one.
Correct. No. He just said Tucker over Franco, and Franco's got 5 years to catch up.
No. I said
No.
Tucker
J-Ram,
over.
right?
I said Tucker over J-Ram.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes, I would agree with that.
I would have Tucker and Franco pretty close. I'd probably go Franco. I mean, but I would still have Tucker in that 11-12 range. I mean, who are you taking, Tucker or Mookie Betts? This is one that hits home
Tucker.
for Zach. He's a big Mookie guy.
Tucker.
I would not argue with that.
Fantasy, not real life.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Tucker.
Obviously, real life, Mookie's going to bring a lot more defense than Tucker. But just fantasy, especially from a health standpoint, you got to like Tucker over Mookie at this point.
I'm still taking Mookie, but
Hey, you know what? That's a health. That's a safe. I understand that reason. But
name carries weight.
You know you're going to get production. And I know, like Dawson, you're always saying how bad he was last year, but he really wasn't that bad.
he had a hip issue, man. I know all about that. It sucks. It's not good for you, but
And he still had he produced.
yeah.
He put up a lot of WAR for the games that he played. Trent, I'm going to ask you about 12 Luis Robert. That's your boy.
My God.
This is a man that Trent might be betting on to win MVP. Trent, what do you think about Robert?
I really think he could. Yeah, I think that he's a very big sleeper pick, and I like to see him at number 12. You know, without having played much of the last year. I mean, I know he came back really well, but I'll never forget the text where you texted me. You said he's done for his career, man. He's calling him.
Oh no, that was Kyle Moore. I was quoting Kyle
Mhm.
Moore.
Yeah. What was that meme that was made? You remember that? Yeah. We should. Hey, if we find it, you can throw it up here real quick.
Yeah, sure. That's the great thing about
Moore.
the great thing about controlling the edit. Luis Robert did hit 338 in the games he played. Obviously expecting a little bit of regression. What do we expect his average to be around, assuming he plays a full 162 games?
Batting average?
Because 338 is pretty
270,
like
280.
impressive. Yeah. Okay. So not a 300.
I'd say in the middling, 280 with a standard deviation of like 15 points, but
Standard deviation. Okay.
I would say that there's a healthy 30-30 chance.
So you're not worried about the stolen bases coming off of a pretty severe
Not
injury?
at all. Not at all.
The one thing I would worry about is the strikeout. I remember I was thinking about picking him with that in that like 10-11 area for a little bit, which I don't think was like a wise move, but I was just thinking about it for a little bit last year. And I was worried about the strikeouts and the swing and miss, and he struck out a lot last year. The walk to strikeout ratio, which can say a lot about a hitter, is still pretty tough, but you got the average up.
Mm.
Yep. I guess finishing off that 9 to 13 range, Trent mentioned, they got Trout all the way down at 13, and this is the first time probably in my life that Trout has not been in the top 10 other than like his rookie year. Trout's fallen off maybe, guys. He's 30 years old, going on 31. Do we expect him to still compete for MVPs, and if so, how long? And if not, what do we expect from Trout?
Yes.
I expect consistency, and I know all the fancy thing to say is that he's played less games than Judge the past few years. I don't know what the exact stat is, but people have been saying that. Any player can get injured at any time, and I don't think that Trout has shown there's a reason to be like too afraid of his injury in this.
Well, the thing is, when he plays, he's a top 10 player.
Yeah, he's
If
got a
not
nice
top five.
consistent swing, short and sweet. That like old age isn't gonna just. He's not old yet.
I thought you were giving a player analysis on Mike Trout for a second.
What?
Talking about his swing, how pretty
He's
good.
got short, sweet
A
swing.
shoe in Hall of Fame.
Beatable, and like he's not just gonna lose that because he's 32 or 31, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, moving
So,
on from Mike. Sorry, keep going.
No, I was gonna move on to real quick to number 16. I'll be the first to get ahead of the curve and say I was wrong about that guy.
Roll the clip.
You know, before you go on, I do want to say a little something about Corbin Burns because for some reason I don't like him.
Really?
I think he's a bullpen guy,
A
and
bullpen guy with
Yes,
his swing and miss kind of stuff.
he has discussed. Don't get me wrong, he's a great pitcher, but I think he's a 3 burst inning pitcher. And so yeah, as you can see from the previous clip, I was not very high on him. I thought, he would end up in the bullpen, and I was high on Freddie Peralta, who I thought was going to be coming out of the bullpen, which ended up happening, and I'm glad I drafted him and took him. But Corbin Burns proved me wrong, and you know what? I hope he keeps proving me wrong because I traded for him, and now I have him. So
Solid 1 for 2 on the Brewers pitchers. I will brag a little bit. I was high on Corbin Burns heading into last year. I actually bought 2 of his rookie autograph cards and sold right when he won the Cy Young. So cashed out and probably got some Chipotle with that money. Nothing crazy, but hey, cards, nice way to make money.
I want to ask this. I want to move on. Really, I just want to wrap this up real quick. Number 20. Where do we think number 20 is going to be at the end of 2022?
Number 20, the big Bobby Witt, my man. I've been on record saying basically from once I watched video on Bobby Witt that he would be better than Wander Franco. And that's been getting a lot of heat because obviously Franco's come up and produced. I do expect Bobby Witt to struggle a tiny bit, just kind of adjusting to MLB pitching at first. But I think once this dude gets his feet settled in, I think he's going to be a special talent. You're looking at a guy who at absolute best could go 40-40. I know that's a lot on anyone's shoulders, but he does have that kind of potential. The man is going to be a baseball savant god.
I think that does it for our nice first 2022 Cup Check episode.
Especially with our new host, Zach Crutchfield.
Yes. Welcome to the team.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Drop a like, subscribe. You know the deal. Hopefully we'll be
If you want.
back with more Cup Check and maybe a little more consistent than we were previously. Signing off.